Welcome to you on this beautiful Kathina day after the end of Vasa 2022. My name is Ayya Sudhamma Mahateri, and I'm calling in to you from Charlotte Buddhist Vihara, my hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina. I met Ayatata Aloka in 1994. At that time, there were 4 Theravada bhikkhunis in the States. Sri Lankan-born Ayya Sudarshana in Florida, Thai-born Ayya Gotami in Boston area, me then in South Carolina, and Ayya Tataloka in California. And Ayya T and I really kind of bonded with phone calls, emails, occasional visits. She visited me first in 94. I visited her many times after that. And I managed to be present for many, if not all, of the most pivotal moments in the development of Dhammadharini. But all along the way, I'm always cheering on this wonderful community that came together around Tata Aloka and then her nun companions over the years. So I visited her in the little tiny cabin she had at Wat Fremont. I visited her just before she was about to move into a lay woman's home to start her own kind of place. That fell through. She then started the 2005 Vasa with what was going to be my companion, with a nun I'd brought over from Germany. Ayya Suchenta went with my blessings, of course, to help Ayya T co-found Dhammadharini there in Fremont. They have that little house. Just along the way, I have gotten to be present. My paint strokes are there among many other people's on one wall of the Sudhamma Vihara right now. It was my suggestion. No one else remembers this, so you just have to take my word for it. It was my suggestion after the camping trip. I was there for the ordination ceremony on Jill's land that led to Jill saying, this might be an option for the long-term stewardship of this forest. And then we bhikkhunis had a camping bhikkhuni training session for a week or 10 days there in that forest, Jill's forest at that time, Dharma Creek. And it was not easy washing our clothes in the creek anyway. But we were very inspired. I learned aspects of formal aspects of the training that still I call certain skills I call upon even today in that one week of training, 10 days of training. At the end, we were all chattering together very happily, and I said, "Hey, let's all stay in the forest for Vasa next year." Again, no one else remembers this, but I'm claiming it. Everyone just went, because it was immediately clear this is what we were going to do. I was not part of the heroic efforts to make the forest habitable between then and the next Vasa, but I did waltz in and claim a camping spot and participate in that. And I did the reciting of the motions for the ordination at the end there. Okay, so I'm just saying, I've been around watching from afar, cheering you folks on, and you folks have cheered me. Seeing your growth, your success of Dhammadharini, including Aranya Bodhi, it's just meant the world to me. Now, we grew obviously from our first 4 Theravada bhikkhunis. Somebody would come in from overseas, somebody would be from a small kind of isolated community and go into robes, and we would just run into people at a conference or learn from word of mouth that, oh, there's another person in robes, there's another one among us. And it was Ayya T that kind of led the way in sort of creating a sort of a gelling, a sense of communion among these people from different Buddhist Theravada lineages, different backgrounds, different expectations, different teachers, different ways of doing Vinaya. Those of us who are really kind of loyal to the idea of having a Vinaya-based life, we really just kind of pulled together with her kind of a guidance in a way. And so we do now have a sense of a Bhikkhuni Sangha across the continental America. We have I'm not going to even guess the number, more than 50, I'm sure, pretty sure, Bhikkhunis plus junior nuns, and yeah, we meet by conference call twice a month. Like we actually have that kind of that much cohesiveness to do even that. Seeing you folks grow, seeing you folks thrive as a community of lay people with your own practice and your willingness and enthusiasm to support monastics, the way the Buddha said to do, and the monastics themselves growing in number, growing in wisdom, growing in strength. This has heartened me so much over the years, probably more than the growth of any other community, just really getting to see it and be a little part of it from a distance. And, you know, this past Vasa, all kinds of change and upheaval happening. You folks somehow have not only survived all these changes, but continue to manage to thrive. And it means the world to many, many people, even at a great distance. The news out of Aloka Vihara of their coming, you know, impending dissolution, because the conditions are just too harsh there, that would absolutely crush me. They're such a beautiful community. Were it not for, they were kind of our other jewel in the States, were it not for the strength of Dhammadharini at this time. So I thank you for that. My own Vasa this year has been very, very meaningful. For many years, I've lived on my own, and that's hard. It gets harder each year, not easier in a way. For the past more than a year, I've had blessings of companionship. And this past Vasa, I had the amazing blessing of the companionship of the one Vasa Bhikkhuni, Ayya Sada of Cambodia. Many of you will have met her, the recent ordination. One of the finest people I've ever had the honor and privilege of teaching and hosting. So that has been such a blessing. She has kept my meditation hall warm and lovely all the time, day in, day out. And right now there's dishes sitting in the sink that haven't magically disappeared, which tells me that, yeah, she definitely did leave this morning, going back to her home monastery. During this Vasa, we made some strides forward towards purchasing this rental house. This is Charlotte Buddhist Vihara. This is the shrine room that you're seeing behind me. We've been renting it for 9 years, and we have the opportunity to purchase, but there have been delays all along for about a year now. We had a firm closing date for October that people's calendars just didn't work out, and now it's set back to November. So it didn't happen during the Vasa as I'd counted on. And now our landlord has changed the terms to something a little more challenging. The interest rates, you know, with the bigger picture, things changed, and the interest rate is quite different now. And I have a doubt about what can happen with it that I didn't have before that news last month. So yes, so I'm hoping that people enthusiastic to see this little place continue to be a refuge and for bhikkhunis and a place of Dhamma dissemination and practice will step forward to make it happen, even with more difficult terms. During this Vasa, my 95-year-old mother moved from my family home, which is about 1.5 miles from here, from this Vasa. I had been the person to be attending to her, you know, most of the time, my relatives being out of state. And so, you know, she had some falls that were, you know, emotionally, that was heavy. Now she is in assisted living, which took a lot of that pressure off of me. So yay, but it's a beautiful place. However, I am now using her car, driving across town, you know, multiple times a week to support her there. And she left behind a cat, a feral cat that needs someone to feed it every day. So that's been a thing. It's continuing a thing. This Vasa is also significant for me because this is my 20th Vasa. Not my 20th year in robes, but my 20th Vasa, 23 or so years in robes. So in this, I now join half a dozen Theravada Mahatheris in the West, or Western Mahatheris, I guess I could say. Now, when you have someone who's so far ahead of you in the years, when you're new at this, you want to look at that line ahead of you and see people who deeply inspire you in every way. Sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get that. My own training was preaching Dhamma. All the Bandhiganaratana students are Dhamma preachers. I've given thousands, literally thousands of sermons. But I didn't get hands-on, here's how to do the robes beautifully. Here's how to be beautiful in your ways of doing things, other than by example. But intensive training didn't happen like that for me. So you're never going to see with me the kind of polish that you see with a lot of monastics, such as at Dhammadharini or Lokavihara. People trained up, even new nuns being trained up by the likes of Ayya Loka, Ayya Sobana, Ayya Satichitta, Ayya Ananda Bodhi. Like they're more polished than this one here already, even in short time. And that does weigh on me a little bit. However, we each bring our own gifts to the world. And what I bring as a 20-year Mahateri is the fact that this practice actually does work. When I ordained, I was an angry former attorney. I was recovering alcoholic. I was carrying a heavy weight of very volatile PTSD. And over these years, a lot of rough edges have gotten worn off that I think I could have protected from getting worn in lay life. So yes, I'm saying the holy life has done for me what just ordinary lay life probably would not have done. It's hard to know, right? But I really do think it pushed me quite a bit in ways that I could not have managed to get pushed myself without the pressures and lifestyle shaping of the holy life. I have gained skills, I've gained experience, I have lost self-hate, I've lost self-blame, I've lost self-cruelty, not necessarily in the super mundane sense, but in the mundane sense, gone. I wouldn't trade places with just about anybody because it's gotten so much nicer in here, so much nicer. I've gained kind of unconditional self-love, self-compassion, so much kindness and love that it spills over in my eyes. You can see the shining of my eyes towards you. 98% of the time, I am loving you. Those 2%, they're a doozy. The 2% where I'm just in my stuff, triggered, irritated, coming back at you. I don't know, why didn't you do da-da-da? It happens. But I do have perhaps some more Vasa ahead of me in which to get to work on that. I do think that that my life gets to stand for saying this Dhamma works. It is effective, even for someone like me. And the holy life works. It is effective, even for someone as difficult to work with as I have been over the years. It works, and it's beautiful. Now, my friends, dear lay people, when you look upon your local bhikkhuni sangha and junior nuns, or nuns, bhikkhunis, Theravada bhikkhunis and nuns around the world, please remember that these are the ladies who have made the age-old gamble of giving up material security, such as there is in the world. Seems like we cling to it more, the less secure it is, for that gamble for spiritual security, which is at times elusive, It's a path that's vulnerable and difficult, rich and rewarding. Without you, we're just homeless, hungry, discouraged, perhaps quitting. We need your material support. We need your words of encouragement. Don't come down hard on us saying we have high expectations of you. Don't do that to us. Have compassion. Give words of encouragement. Give us your prayers every day that we can do this thing, that we can realize the Buddha's promises. I want to thank you, all of you, all my bhikkhuni sisters, my junior nuns, and all the beautiful lay people for helping me enjoy the holy life, for helping the holy life exist. Thank you.